We're in the original section of the hardware store. In fact, this was the hardware store that Jay bought, with the fluorescent lights, the lower ceiling, and the wooden floors. All the way over to the corner here where you see the pine molding. That was where the store kind of ended. And you said there was a garage on that side, Jay?
Yes.
Okay, and there were houses in the stove room, which is just where we were. You said it looks a lot different than when you first bought it, huh?
It looks very much different.
But the case, you said,
this is an original case in our store. Yeah.
Okay,
and
all right.
It was this room right here that I bought, and the next room there was storage. And since then we've added on.
Now I have a question for you. Since we're back where it all began, you were a young man. You said you wanted to make a living. You wanted to find something that was your own, and you were looking, and the store was for sale, and you decided to buy it. I know that your education was limited in the sense you didn't get to go when it comes to school education. Life education, I can tell, has been great to you. But you had the confidence as a young man to go forward and buy a hardware store and work. And made, obviously, a go at it.
Yeah, well, yes. At the time, I had just come back from Europe, having worked over there a couple of years building houses for the refugees.
Okay.
And I was out of money, I had spent all my money in Europe.
Okay.
So I had no money, but I needed a job. And it so happened that when I came home, this store was for sale. And since I needed a job, and my dad was kind enough to sign all my notes, I borrowed every penny and bought this store, and it just has kept on growing and growing. And
you said you paid your dad back by driving a school bus and pumping gas.
Yes, the first few years to pay the rent and to pay my father back, I would drive school bus, and my father would come and tend the store while I was gone.
You said your dad, he was a digger, he ran a machine.
Yes.
And he taught you to be a mechanic, very handy, which obviously is very handy in a hardware store. You said he gave you a great work ethic, and
that's right.
Tell me a little bit about your dad.
I learned about to work at home. We lived on a farm, and we milked cows, and we had chickens, and we had pigs, and it was my duty to get up early in the morning to help milk the cows. And so the work ethic that I learned from him, which was a very good work ethic, I'm now trying to pass on to my children.
Right, and obviously you have.
I'm going to say, they've picked it up, and it's been going very well.
One of the biggest sellers, Jay said, here in the hardware store has always been their well pumps. And you can see them next to Jay here. They're hand pumps, those are. Of course, the Amish don't want to use electricity, so they have, you said windmills, Jay?
Some have windmills.
Which attaches to that long arm and pumps it. And what was the other thing you said?
And some have what they call pump jacks with a gas engine.
Okay.
And the jack just keeps going up and down, and it just keeps moving the cylinder up and down.
So next time you turn on your faucet, think of where your water comes from. It's not as easy to get as just turning a spigot. I've been asking everybody today if they have a favorite item from the store. And I have to ask you, so what's your favorite item in the store?
Well, I think it's probably what they used to call the Reading apple peeler.
Okay.
We now call it the Lehman apple peeler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the tour of your store.
Okay, well, thank you for coming.
We're in the bell room, and I'm talking to Glenda Lehman Irvin. And Glenda is the Vice President of Marketing for Lehman's, and she's also Jay's oldest daughter. Now tell me what Vice President of Marketing does.
I try to be the public face of Lehman's. There's a lot of information that we want to get out there. For example, we don't sell antiques. We sell new, accurate, historic, working replicas of products you can't find anymore. So it's the advertising, it's the media, it's talking to people like you.
Okay, now you said about having authentic replication in your products. That's why museums are interested in you, because you not only know how to replicate them and have them available, but you know how to use them and show them the proper way to use them as well.
When you go to a Civil War reenactment or some kind of Johnny Appleseed display, I know that you've already visited with them, if they are looking for brand new, historically accurate products, think about it. If you're trying to set a scene that is supposed to be 1835, where are you going to find a house full of new products from 1835?
Right.
And that segues into what I call the Hollywood to Kidron connection. Did you know that virtually every major movie set in the 19th century gets their products from Lehman's?
Wow.
Because we make it easy for them. It's one-stop shopping.
Okay.
We have the product in stock.
Okay.
We can ship anywhere very quickly, and we know how to use the product, which we laugh and we'd say it means we tell them, no, no, you crank it this way, not this way.
Now tell me a little bit about the different shows. You had mentioned something about a show that was just on recently. There was the Cold Mountain.
Cold Mountain with Nicole Kidman, which is a Civil War era piece.
Right. The Patriot was another one?
The Patriot was another one. The Legend of Beggar Vance, Oprah Winfrey's Beloved. Those are set more in the early 20th century, but Pirates of the Caribbean with Johnny Depp, Open Range with Kevin Costner. Brad Pitt has a new film coming out starring Jesse James.
And you're talking about this frontier show that they used all of your products in. And they come to you previous to them even starting production and pre-production to line up what they need for props and everything. So Glenda, we're hearing a lot of squeaking going on. I know this is a very old barn. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Judy, this barn is actually a pre-Civil War era barn that my father found just a few miles south of here on a Sunday afternoon drive. This is a great story about Dad because it shows you how he could take what other people would see as something worthless and turn it into something very worthwhile. He had that barn taken apart piece by piece and put back here on our property. It now houses our pottery, our bells, our toys, and serves as our main entryway.
Well, Glenda, I've asked everybody what is their favorite thing in the store, and we're standing in front of it.
That's right. I love the bells. I love the way they look. I love the way they sound. These are sleigh bells.
Okay.
Everyone has a different tone.
Okay.
And it said in the olden days you could recognize who was coming to visit you by the sound of the bells.
Okay.
Now, do you know where that expression, "I'll be there with bells on," comes from?
No.
My grandfather always said that in the olden days you would put your sleigh bells on your sleigh when you went visiting. Now, if it was snowy and you wrecked your sleigh and somebody came to rescue you, it was common courtesy to give him your bells. Therefore, when you say, "I'll be there with bells on," it means you were not delayed, you did not have an accident, and you arrived safely and on time.
With your bells.
With your bells on.
Look how big they get. Well, they're definitely very musical.
Yes, I love the sound of them, and they all sound different.
Well, thank you, Glenda, for setting everything up today and for meeting you and making the connection with your dad and your brother and Pearl and David. We've met a wonderful family, and congratulations on your success.
Thank
and
you.
more continued success with you and your store.
Jay Lehman's a lucky man. He's been able to practice his religious belief of helping others and make an honest living at it with good old-fashioned hard work, common sense, and business savvy. Lehman's hardware store has kept his family together and created a legacy not only for his children and grandchildren, but for the people in his community that he serves. That's what I'd call good business. Join me again next time as we visit together Ohio's most interesting people, places, and things right here on Only Ohio. After all, there's a lot more to Ohio than you might think. If you or your family have a favorite destination, event, or person that you'd like to have featured on our show, contact us. Here's how. You can write your suggestions to us at WNEO, care of Only Ohio, Kent, Ohio, 44240, 5191, or contact me at onlyohio1@AOL.com. You can learn more about Only Ohio by visiting our website at www.onlyohio.org.
If you've enjoyed this episode of Only Ohio and would like to see it again or share it with family and friends, it's available on VHS and DVD. Just call 1-800-554-4549.
When is Blueberry mysterious? When it's Smuckers, the finest fruit, a bounty of flavors for the many moods of you. For over 100 years, with a name like Smuckers, it has to be good.